Are you a disciple of Jesus? Now, if you claim to be a Christian, then your answer should be yes. However, if most were honest with themselves, then they probably don't reflect that of a disciple, someone who is a student, someone who is a follower. I mean, think about what a student does. They study, they listen to their teacher, they implement what it is that they are learning. And so I talked about this time last week, the difference between a believer and follower, because believing in Jesus, that's a great start. But as we know, the first scripture that I include in my book is how even the demons, even the devil believes that Jesus is who he says that he is. But shortly after that, I include another scripture that I don't think a whole lot of people follow. And it's found in Matthew chapter 16, verse 24. It says, "Then Jesus said to his disciples, 'Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me.'" So you listen to Jesus, and then you implement what it is that he says. And this is actually what changed everything for me. This is when I say, and I know I've talked about it on here before, through my book, if you go back a few weeks, how my faith changed everything. Jesus changed everything because I actually started to follow him. In just a Cliff Notes version, what I used to do was cover sports. I was a TV sports reporter, and that convicted me. So if you think about that, covering sports, how can that be so convicting? Well, you'll have to go back to that video, and I'll tag it at the end to go back and give you some background as to how Jesus did change everything for me. But it was my faith that I started to do the stuff that he was teaching, stuff that I read about. And I'm going to share with you just a little bit more out of my book, directly from my book, just a preview. It says, "As I spent more time on my faith, the things I thought were most important to me started to be less important. I started to dislike what I was doing for a living." Think about that. I covered sports. It doesn't seem like a terrible thing, but what I discovered was that I was putting people, including myself, on a pedestal and helping glorify worldly things. So I do think that sports are incredibly beneficial. They can teach you a lot of things. But at the same time, the stuff that I saw as I was getting older, I was covering professional athletes, and they are, don't be mistaken, as broken as anyone else. More money, more problems, as I saw it for them, because they were not including their faith in what they were doing. And so they were very much in and of the world. And so was I, though. So I can't sit here and act like I had it together. But when I took that conviction seriously and I started to follow Jesus, I eventually let go. I died to myself, if you will, the desires of my flesh. And when I did that, I found freedom and I found whole new purposes, if you will, for my life. And that's been more than 10 years ago when I left that former career and doing what I'm doing today, which is far more fulfilling because he is guiding it all.